Well, hey everyone, and welcome back to Tactical Review. So like a lot of you guys, I am struggling to find ammunition in stock right now, or if it is in stock, a lot of places are wanting an arm and a leg. So anyway, the other day I was out doing some grocery shopping. While I was waiting for my pickup turn to grab my online grocery order, I thought that I would slip into my local farm store and see, number one, what they had for ammunition, and number two, grab a couple of grocery items that I had forgotten to put into my online grocery order. As you can imagine, the ammunition shelves are pretty bare, but I was able to find a couple of offerings in Hotshot Elite by Century Arms and ZVS. Now, ordinarily, I would not give either of these two brands of ammunition a second look. Like you guys, if I'm going to shoot brass, I'm going to go for something I'm at least a little more familiar with. If you've been watching the channel for any length of time, though, you know that usually I go for steel-cased ammunition just because I don't reload and for that upfront cost savings. That said, these two items were the only 9mm ammunition on the shelf, and so after a little bit of research confirming that I can be reasonably assured that they're not going to blow up my firearm, I decided to pick up a couple of boxes and give them a go. I thought that this might be a good opportunity for you guys to see how this ammunition performs for me, at least in a limited scale, as well as lets me know whether these are a viable alternative. Both of these ammunitions are manufactured in Slovakia. As a matter of fact, on initial inspection, and I will bring out a couple of rounds and show you here in a moment, I thought maybe they might be manufactured in the same factory, just under two brand names with a couple of different head stamps. I'm not going to say that's not the case, and if you guys know for sure, you can comment down below. But I will say that I have seen a couple of differences, that they are definitely manufactured to different standards. And so I have some specifications here. I wrote them down because once again, out here at the range, I don't have cellular access. So I'm going to give us a baseline right here, and I'll be putting this information up on screen so that you can kind of keep it in mind. My baseline, I'm using Federal American Eagle 124 grain, specifically the 124, because both of these offer a 124 grain projectile in what I picked up today. The American Eagle is rated at 1,150 feet per second and 364 foot-pounds of energy. The Hotshot Elite, also with 124 grain pill, is rated just slightly higher at 1,180 feet per second and 384 foot-pounds of energy. And then the ZVS comes in at a slightly anemic 1,080 feet per second with 328 foot-pounds of energy. Now, I don't have any of the Federal out here with me for comparison, but what I would like to do is put a few rounds of each across the chronograph, and we're going to see how closely those match the rated feet per second, which again is not on the box anywhere. I did have to go online to find that information. And we're going to look for a couple of things. One, we're going to see how close to the rated feet per second we get out of a Glock 19, and I don't know what barrel length they use to proof their rounds. And then second, we're going to look for consistency. So we'll give it at least 5 rounds. We might give it 10 rounds to give us a little bit more of an average here. So let me get the chronograph set up. We're going to hillbilly that up a little bit once again with some blocks and some barrels, and then we will get some rounds downrange and kind of talk about what I thought of this ammunition. There will also be a few other things that I'm looking for. One, a few reviews mention split cases. Now, part of that might have to do with the firearm you're using, In my case, I'm actually using a Glock 23 slide with a Storm Lake conversion barrel, so it does offer a fully supported chamber. 2, we're going to look for torn extraction lip on the cases, so we're going to look for failures to extract, failures to feed, things like that. So before we shift around and get that set up, I do want to take a look at one of each before we send them all downrange. All right, I'm going to get in here a little bit closer because I am not the focus of this. The bullets are. Here on the, well, here in my right hand is the ZVS. Obviously, then the other one is the Hotshot. They both feature a brass case and a brass jacketed projectile. And so, once again, very similar casings, very similar projectiles, which led me to think that maybe they came from the same factory. However, when we look at the base and at the head stamp, we will notice that one of them features a flat primer while the other one has a slightly beveled primer. Those of you guys who do more with ammunition, you might be able to tell everybody what that means. I just know that it's a difference, and I thought that I would highlight that for you guys. All right, enough with the talking. Let's start shooting. All right, 17 rounds of ZVS, take 2. .1057, 1058, 1039, 1062, 1059, 1048, 1057, 1069, 1051, 1051, 1046, 1047, 1043, 1059, 1051, 1052, 1056. Maybe those sunshades are important. Now 17 rounds of Hotshot. .1046, 1060, 1085, 1092, 1092, 1042, 1075, 1061, 1036, 1051, 1065, 1038, 2 arrows in a row, hang on. 1057, 1061, 1066. All right. A lot better performance that round. 1060, 1056, 1076, 1063, 1091, 1077, 1075. Hotshot. 1056, 1069, 1093, 1095, 1120, 1088, 1099, 1090. All right, so to wrap this up, I was actually pretty impressed with both the ZVS and the Hotshot as far as range ammunition. Now we saw from the chrono data that either Hotshot is a little exuberant about their numbers, or perhaps they tested out of a full size or even an extended size barrel to get the numbers that they got. In my experience today, both loads are very similar, within just a few tens of feet per second. So I wouldn't hesitate to buy either of these brands again for out here at the range, provided that they were at a reasonable price. I got these for just a few cents a round more than what I would typically pay for brass case range ammunition, and it was pretty on par for the store that I was at. I did manage to collect all but 2 of my empties. From a cursory inspection, I didn't find any split cases. I didn't find any unusual bulging or anything that really stood out to me. And I also took a look at all 198 primers. Again, just a quick cursory inspection. I will say that the Hotshot primers looked dimpled just a little bit more deeply. So again, none of the primers ruptured or anything. I don't know if that means anything specific to you. All 200 rounds went bang, and that's what matters to me. Now, I will grant that 100 rounds of each brand is a very, very small sample size, so maybe take all this with a grain of salt. That said, I wouldn't hesitate to pick up another box at $10.50 a box. If that's what you're finding it for, I wouldn't hesitate at all. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can do that over at Patreon. And if you would like to help support the channel, but you want to get something in return, you can head over to the merchandise store at Teespring, pick you up some t-shirts or some coffee cups, and the channel will get a few dollars for every purchase you make there. If you're not following the channel on social media, that's a thing you should be doing, using that username right there. You're going to get behind the scenes pictures, some political commentary, maybe just what I'm doing that day, but it gives us another way to keep in communication outside of the weekly live chat and the weekly live stream and the live chat when we premiere these videos. I'd appreciate a thumbs up on this video if you don't mind. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you ring that notification bell so you see when I upload new content. You might also consider following the channel on Gunstreamer and or BitChute. We know that YouTube is not always the most gun-friendly platform, and you never know that you might not find all of your favorite firearms creators just deplatformed one day. It's always good to be keeping tabs on those channels on other platforms just to be safe. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, shoot straight, stay safe.